You ever simultaneously really like something but at the same time really not like it? Yeah, that's me right now. Before we hop into this review of chapter 306 of My Hero Academia, please do me a favor and drop your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below, leave a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, let's get into it. What's up guys, Echo the Pencil here, and here we are to review chapter 306 of My Hero Academia, the beginning of the end. And yes, I know the Midoriya panel is very important, however we're not going to talk about that first. We have more important things to talk about. So, the chapter opens and All Might reveals that he can feel everything that's going on in the spirit world right now. He just feels it through emotions, which makes sense. His little mental image of himself is already in One for All. He's definitely going to die soon, so it makes sense that he can feel it all. That's perfectly fine. We move on to Hawks and Best Genius coming in, and they're asking about One for All. And here's the thing. All Might says that the hospital isn't a safe spot to discuss it, so he takes them elsewhere and explains everything. However, while he explains everything to them, this doesn't get explained to anyone else, at least as far as we know. There is one other character who could have hypothetically learned something about it, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Then we get to see Nezu. He's about to execute an order, and apparently since it's from OB, he'll sort it out immediately. I have no idea who OB is, but it's neither here nor there. Maybe there's just a character I'm forgetting. Maybe it's a character from Vigilante, since we seem to be, well, by the end of the chapter, it seems we're approaching a more Vigilante style era than we are the hero era, which is something I'm more interested in. And then we see that while panic is spreading like a plague, everyone's going nuts, everyone's going crazy, people are doing what I expected they were going to do. They're just going to look to the heroes, hear their explanations, hear what they wanted to say, hear what they had to say. Obviously, while Dabi did spread chaos, and obviously Shigaraki and Gigantomachia did cause the deaths of a lot of people, the people, as much as they want to just completely disband the hero system, they want to uproot it, they kind of need heroes. They need someone to help them out. So it makes sense that not everyone's losing hope and going crazy just yet. And it makes sense that all the heroes are just being questioned. Like, this is what makes logical sense in progression of the panic, yet at the same time, the people being scared of what they would do if heroes didn't exist. Heroes are a necessary evil, like I've talked about before, and as we can see, this idea holds true all the way up until now. The heroes are explaining themselves. Endeavor reveals that yes, his entire truth about his family is the truth. It's something that is completely factual. Dabi did not lie on that. But the things with Hawks and Best Genius were misconstrued. Hawks explains that he feels bad for hiding his criminal past, but he did it for a good reason. And the same thing happens with his murder of Twice. He did it because he had to, not because he wanted to. And people seem to let that slide for the most part. However, we completely skip over that when we get to the damage done by Gigantomachia. And the thing is, this one lady here has this really funny face, and no, I'm kidding. Well, no, this face is absolutely hilarious. This manga panel right here made me laugh uncontrollably. I don't know why, but in terms of what she's talking about, she's like, but my mother was severely injured in Gigantomachia's rampage, and it's all you heroes' fault because it was done by a villain, and if you had just been perfect, then none of this would have happened. And Endeavor's like, yes, but I wasn't perfect. So what do you want me to do about it? Like, you want me to cry? You want me to apologize some more? Like, what's the problem here? And she's like, no, I want you to get rid of the villains. And Endeavor's like, yeah, obviously, dumb. That's what I'm here for. I'm a hero. Like, I stop villains. I don't save them. I stop villains. No, but Endeavor straight up says, yes, we're going to stop the villains. We're going to do the best we can to make up for the mistakes we made in the past. So please, just give us a chance. Just let us do our work. Let us do what we do, because obviously y'all can't do this yourselves, and this is what we're here for. And I love that. That's the thing. I'm so happy to see Endeavor taking responsibility and really being Endeavor, like the real, genuine Endeavor, this person who takes responsibility, this person who not only takes responsibility but is brash, is honest, is straight up, is direct. He's not trying to be a symbol. He's trying to make up for the mistakes he did. He knows he's not perfect. All these top three heroes know they're not perfect. I mean, Best Genius is basically perfect. All my man did was roll with the plan. But basically, Hawks and Endeavor are owning up to their mistakes, and they're trying to rectify them by doing their jobs. And I respect that. That's a lot of serious work to do. And to move on from that, we get to the idea that certain people are going to be protected more than others. There's going to be higher priority protection of certain people, and it's all the people related to the students of UA. They're all going to be moving to UA. They're all going to be protected there. And unfortunately, this means that Midoriya's mom is alive. And that kind of sucks to suck. But, and you may be wondering why I'm saying that. I'm only saying that because it would have been a great repercussion of the war arc to test Midoriya even more if he lost his mom, the only person he really has from the rampage done by Gigantomachia and Shigaraki. Like, if someone he personally knew that was really important to him legitimately died because Shigaraki, someone he wants to save, did something. But obviously, that's not happening here. That's not the case. Everyone is still alive. At least everyone in the two moms to our main characters, both Mitsuki and Inko, they're both alive. And they're both going to be protected at UA. And that's all cool. I'm interested to see why. And we're going to go into more of a discussion about why I find this interesting later. But thing is, we see Endeavor straight up say, oh, this was so nice. This was like a nice character parallel to what Endeavor was trying to be initially during the Pro Hero arc, when he was talking about another reason why the Pro Hero arc is the best arc in My Hero Academia. But the thing is, Endeavor just wants everyone to focus all their hatred and negativity and everything all on him. All this uncertainty, please focus it on him, and please just watch him. And I love that, the way he flares up the top of his face but not the bottom. All this wonderful, beautiful parallels, because he's ready to take responsibility, he's ready to do what must be done. All of this is fantastic, and I'm so happy to see it. I'm glad to see how much Endeavor has grown as a character, yet how much he still stays that constant, firm, believing himself. I love it. It's great. It's beautiful. But let's move on to this next page. This page right here, which shows all the different heroes that have been like taken out or disabled. We see Wash, who isn't necessarily disabled, but I guess he's there. Mount Lady is there, but she's injured. Maruko is likely still armless. She's pulling a band over her arm. Aizawa is down an eye. And we see, I'm assuming that's Kamui Woods. I didn't know Kamui Woods had hair, but I'm assuming it's Kamui Woods and not Midoriya because of the different wood-like textures on him. And here's the thing. The page is talking about how the number of heroes has decreased significantly, and that when from this day, basically from this point onward, no hero will be calling out to answer. However, there would still be those who stand up to fight. I'm assuming it's these couple people still. Like, a lot of heroes have resigned, but these few, like these 5 and the top 3, are still going to be out there fighting. Can't wait to see more. Wonder what happened to Ryukyu. I wonder why she wasn't mentioned in this, especially since she's still a top 10 hero. And where are characters like Gang Orca? Where are all these other characters that I know may be injured, but like seem to be powerhouses that would be really useful in a time like this where there's a lot of villainy running rampant? I know this is a very limited cluster of panels, but I think, man, I would have preferred to see Gang Orca or Ryukyu over Wash, mainly because I hate Wash with a burning passion. Horikoshi, why? But regardless of that, the bottom of the page ends with Dabi, and he's just, you know, he's being Dabi. He hates his dad, and that's all he cares about. So he's like, oh, this torment wasn't enough, Dad? Oh, don't worry, I'll get you next time. I'll torture you some more. That's cool, whatever. That's what Dabi's character is right now, and what Dabi's character is going to be until Todoroki saves him and the entire family reconnects with Dabi, and he gets saved. That's it. So I'm not, once again, not going to plan to expect much more out of Dabi. This is entire character motivation. This is entire character. So that's it. That's fine. Cool to mention him. He gets this one offhand panel, and that's it. And then we get to the, the big part that everyone's going to be talking about. Midoriya having left UA and becoming a dropout. And here's the thing. That's fine. That's cool. In fact, I'm very happy to see this. I'm leaning with it, rocking with it. However, I do have some things to discuss. One, Endeavor doesn't mention One for All to everyone else. Obviously, he must know about it because the chapter says that he did that specifically so All Might and Deku weren't pestered by the media about it. So he knows. I'm really disappointed by this. And this is where I start to get into the fact that I love a lot of this chapter, but this chapter has also done a lot that makes me not really like it. Because I love all the stuff with Endeavor. I love the stuff with All Might. I love the stuff with Nezu. I love the stuff with all these different characters. However, then we get to this part where one, I wish we had got to see Endeavor's reaction to All Might being a quirkless guy, not someone who had initially been this powerful. Like, when you think about it, All Might's the whole reason Endeavor ruined his own life. And All Might wasn't born with that power. It was a power given to him. All Might was lucky. Endeavor was Bakugo, basically. Except he didn't even know. At least Bakugo figured it out eventually. But no, Endeavor realized that he destroyed his entire family, went through a quirk marriage, was really the true, most organic #1 hero, but all of that was overshadowed by All Might, who got lucky and got a quirk passed down to him. All Might cheated. Endeavor really was the strongest hero. All Might got steroids on the side, but we don't get to see that reaction. I would have loved to see Endeavor react to it and almost look at All Might differently, like, really? I sacrificed all my life for this? Just put more into perspective. Really, just to torment Endeavor more. Honestly, me and Dabi, this is the one thing we will dap up on. I 100% agree. Torture Endeavor more. Mentally, physically, do whatever you need to do. I love my characters when they suffer. But regardless of that, I really wish we could have seen Endeavor getting that explanation, realizing that he had sacrificed so much for essentially something he could never beat, because he wasn't fighting All Might. He was fighting All Might plus like 8 other people. That's pretty unfair. Or else 7. But it's still pretty unfair for someone like Endeavor to go up against. And he risked and destroyed all that, all for not because it was a fight he could never win. However, to see all that and not get that reaction, not get that explanation, at least not now. Who knows, we could get in the future, because there's another thing I got to talk about with the end of this chapter. But I wish we could have seen that. Would have been a really cool reaction to get out of Endeavor. I feel like it would have been great for his character, but hey, couldn't let that slide. And then, of course, we have Midoriya leaving letters to everybody, and I guess that's fine. It's cool to see that everyone else is now knowing about One for All. Now they're allowed to not have the stupid curse on them anymore, where they don't notice obvious strange things about Midoriya's new powers that all happen to come with One for All. He's finally told them the truth, and that's great. We see Uraraka just caring the most, which is fine. This is fine. I'm not attacking Uraraka's character right now. This is what she's basically the surrogate for the entirety of 1A, which we would have got to see Ida's reaction, because, you know, Ida is the other best friend of Midoriya, at least as far as I know. Ida and Todoroki's reaction, really, but I think Todoroki may be busy with Endeavor, so I'll let that slide. But I wish we could have seen Ida's reaction. He's another really important character in Midoriya's life, up to his life in UA, but we don't get to see that. Obviously, has to focus on Ochako. She's basically the confirmed main love interest for Midoriya. It's her main purpose as a character at this point, so obviously it makes sense seeing her reaction, especially with limited panel time, so that's perfectly fine. But the thing that gets me is, I feel like we time skip. I feel like we time skip a lot, and I feel like Horikoshi is sliding too many things under the rug with this last cool panel, which is trying to just distract me from all the problems I have with this. One, Gran Torino's dead. He has to be, because that's Gran Torino's cloak. Unless I'm mistaken, that has to be Gran Torino's cloak. And Gran Torino's cloak is torn up, and Deku looks mad sad, and he also looks mad drained, and it's also April. So this suggests a, like, juicy sort of time skip. Like, maybe not time skip like the time skip I was wanting. Like, you know, adult Midoriya, adult cast. They're obviously still in high school, but it seems to be, I'm not sure, when did the war arc take place? Hold on, let me check something. All right, I've looked for a whole 5 minutes. I have no idea when the war arc took place. So, regardless of that, it feels like time has passed, a decent amount of time. And obviously, the thing that concerns me the most is that, how did Midoriya heal? How did Midoriya heal? Because he shouldn't be able to use his arms right now. And I know they're wrapped up in bandages, or at least what look like something akin to bandages, but I need to know how he healed. Was it Eri? Was it Eri? Was it Eri? I need to know, because Recovery Girl said she couldn't do it anymore. I need to know. Just show me, Horikoshi. I feel like he skipped a lot because he didn't necessarily want to show us a lot. He's doing this non-linear storytelling again, and I don't think that works here. Because one, if Gran Torino's dead, I already feel like he should have died, like, confirmed way earlier, so it would have the same impact. But if he is dead, then it lost all its impact because Midoriya's wearing his cape, and we already could tell by the design of the cape that it was Gran Torino, and that removes the impact of knowing he's dead when we get told on panel. So there's that. Or at least, no, it removes the impact for me. I keep speaking general terms, so he's going to remove the impact for all of us. However, no, it's just going to ruin the impact for me. I figured he was going to die anyway, but seeing it like pseudo-confirmed like this, even if it may not be confirmed, it's just whack to me. But regardless of that, that's fine. I'm just mad at Midoriya's arms being healed. My man shouldn't be able to use those things anymore. How did he heal? Was he fully healed by the coma? We skipped a lot. We skipped a lot. Even if this April time skip isn't massive, we skipped a lot of things that we need to see. Everyone getting discharged. We needed to see how Midoriya reacted to the fact that All Might told everybody about One for All. What made Midoriya do the decision to suddenly up and end and leave UA? Where's all this random character stuff coming from that really just hops right out of nowhere? How are his arms healed? That's the thing. I want to know. I have questions. What's going on? Are we getting My Hero Academia Vigilante in the main canon? Like, is this the vibe? Is this the wave we're going with? This leaves me with a lot of questions, but a lot of these questions aren't like good questions. They're just why'd you skip this? Like, this isn't questions being set up by the narrative that will make sense following a chronological timeline. These are questions being set up by the narrative that sound like escapes. Like, I feel like we're never gonna know how Midoriya healed, but who knows? Maybe we're gonna flash back and it was Eri. I feel like I hope we flash back and see Gran Torino dying, because literally I'm saying that's Gran Torino's death because he's wearing that cape. And it seems like a decent amount of time has passed because his hero outfit is in complete rags. And I know it could just be because his hero outfit never got repaired from the time of the war arc, but at the same time, seems a bit strange. And here's another thing. Midoriya leaving UA. Now this seems like a catch-22 for Midoriya, so I'm not even mad at him for doing this. I'm just a little bit, that's the thing, because Midoriya leaving UA makes sense in the idea that, oh, well, if he's at UA, then that means Shigaraki is going to attack UA, and if Shigaraki attacks UA with his mom and everyone else's parents there, he simply wouldn't want to risk it. It's not worth the risk. So he leaves and goes off on his own. However, thing is, that just makes UA a gigantic sitting duck. Like, no offense, but with Aizawa down, as far as we know, who knows? Once again, Eri could have just hit the rewind button on him. But the thing is, we don't know what UA's defenses are. They say it's a top-notch school with top-notch defenses, but I'm pretty sure a lot of its main defenses were its heroes. And last I checked, Aizawa was still down, but who knows? It's been some time, so maybe he's back up. Midnight's dead, and President Mike, he seemed fine. So President Mike may be a good defense, but against All For One Shigaraki, that sounds like a hostage situation in the making, if not made already. Like, that's free hostages right there. But I understand why Midoriya did it, because it's like, it's the lesser of two evils in his mind. If he gets Shigaraki to just blindly chase him instead of risking going back to UA and staying there, then it makes sense. It makes perfect sense, and I'm not even mad at him for it. It's a cool decision. It's an okay decision. I'm willing to see what he does, and I'm happy to see him so sad. This is like a genuine kind of like not crying sad. It's just Midoriya looking like down, like repressed and in pain because of all he's been through. And I like that. I love it when my characters suffer. So I'm glad to see Midoriya like this. This is a really interesting spot. However, there's some things I'm still worried about. One, how many quirks does he have? I know he's got to have some quirks, because the One-For-All user, the original One-For-All user in the last chapter said they were going to teach him about his quirks. So what what flashbacks are we going to get now? I'm simultaneously excited to see it, but at the same time I'm like, man, this would have been better if it was told in chronological order. I wish that we could see more of what happened after the hospital. That's the main thing I don't like about this chapter. We make a huge leap when there were too many interesting questions that were already set up before the literal last, let me check 1, 2, 3 to the last 3 pages of this chapter. It was doing really, really good. I was fine with the slower pacing because it was doing a lot of exposition, a lot of interesting exposition, a lot of backstory. I love stuff like that. However, I decided to just leap off a cliff and just go somewhere completely different, which is perfectly fine. Just a tad annoying. And yeah, that's really it. I like the chapter. I like it a lot just because of what it does for a majority of our characters. I don't like how we time skip ahead when there are too many pertinent questions to talk about based on what Horikoshi himself has already established. But other than that, I think it still is a really solid chapter. Really solid, like 7, maybe 7.5 or 8 out of 10. But what do you guys think about the chapter? Please tell me in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.